Back, boys. So finished the Chaos game earlier, and now we have new DLC here. Adeptus Mechanicus. So it came with a patch 1.9.0. I love all this list of the patch notes from start to the last one. What does it even say here? Random cuff. Increases round. Knowledge is the principal thing, therefore get the knowledge, and in all of your getting, get understanding. The Omniscient directs us to tread the path of wisdom. If anything blocks our way, be it creature, machine, or man, we must sacrifice them to the glory of the machine god, into the Imperium. Janitor Cohen, Forge Mistress. New faction, Adeptus Mechanicus, DLC, Disciples of the Machine God. Initial challenge hard. Tentacles on the Omniscient. Chant Mechanicus hymns to enhance units, increasing in power with every praying warrior. Doctrina imperatives override Skitaria subroutines to amplify some common aspects while reducing others. High cities place more buildings per tile by utilizing Adeptus Mechanicus' ability to create their constructions of rockrit and adamantium. So it looks like they can create more buildings in the same tile. Monolithic buildings. Increase output of buildings of the same type on a tile. Increase output of buildings on differing types on a tile. How do you? They want to build the same thing on the tile. Our surge increase the output on buildings on the tile through forceful intensity. Slave to the past. Increased research costs. The ability to truly innovate has long been lost, replaced with the reverence for the times when humanity was the architect of its own destiny. So their technology is more costly. Okay, that makes sense. We'll have to see what these monolithic buildings and hive cities do. Program Castellan robot. Capture enemy Castellan robots with cybernetic data smiths programming rituals. This could be actually quite potent if you get lucky with this, I think. Let's see how it works. Bionics and Adeptus Mechanicus units have high damage resistances. Generally, artificial limbs are more durable than their biological counterparts. Adjacent integration, Adeptus Mechanicus upgrades increase building output of each adjacent building. So, monolithic buildings, hive cities, and adjacency integration. This looks like strong stuff for the city. With each adjacent building, huh? So what's new? Castellan robots now spawn with cybernetic data smiths from the new Adeptus Mechanicus roster instead of Tech Priest Angel Seers. So different unit around with the Castellan robots. New movement sounds for Meganobs, Obliterators, and Terminators. Added advanced will creation setting to avoid duplicate random factions. Turn on, this setting will adjust random faction chances so that if each faction appears on equal amount of times in the game. Added 40 new Steam achievements. Oh, nothing about better advanced map options. Added and or monster creature to actions and traits that affect monster creature units in addition to infantry. Added missing hammer of red to warwalkers. Only certain mods that are not currently active on the local system are now colored yellow. Penimetric Castellan robot now appears under Adeptus Mechanicus and Cure Hounds under Tau. Updated localizations. Bug fixes. Fixed being able to use invalid file names for save games. Fixed being able to web-way travel while in transport, crashing the game. Fixed has a ton of grenade upgrade descriptions to mention which unit receives the grenades. Fixed tidewall shield line traits sometimes not showing. Fixed marker color not getting updated properly when multiple players mark and unmark the same tile. Please read buffer size limit for relay server from 10 to 40 megabytes since some valid network messages have been getting rejected. This may fix some connection issues. On multiple successes, space in text. Fix the wrong double quotation marks in text. Modding new XML tags for modding. See Adeptus Mechanicus XMLs. Okay. Let's see what do we got here. Is it me or there's no Adeptus Mechanicus here? It says here Adeptus Mechanicus, huh? Ah, it's on the top. On the top. Oh, there's a familiar face. Go with Evil Son Scarlet. We'll turn on quests for this one. Once quest just one time and that's it. I'll see we'll get exhausting bullshit again or what. Like the settings overall. Artifact densities, you still can't turn it off, huh? The outposts were low, so plenty of outposts. Even very low. A lot of skulls works without quests activated, Captain Moron, but you don't get a quest to for the reward. It's kinda crazy that we don't know large maps, so medium was higher. It's kinda crazy how much wildlife was still on the map on medium with very hard enemies. Wildlife density too low. Everything else is fine. This game on hard. But just a nice chill game here to see what's what with this faction. With just a team of Tyranids. Actually, what was it, the... So first time as Adeptus Mechanicus, we have quests on. I'm already feeling exhaustion from that. What a waste of resources.
Oh my god! Have you seen that shit? Holy shit! What the hell?
What the hell? We'll be seeing what this faction is about. This time we moved the wildlife to low from medium. Quests are on and Lord of Skulls is on. Pretty much most settings are on medium except Web Gates on very low. Lacquer Tombs on very low. This honestly doesn't even matter, just static arm. Traders on very low, Ruins on very low, Older Outposts on very low, Artifacts on very low, and yeah, wildlife this time is on low. More fighting between us and less with them. Okay, let's go. Team of Tyranids was the only enemy. We're gonna be a slower game, see what this faction has.
Gladius Prime. Adeptus Mechanicus first. What hive world was not? Its cities, its satellites, its wastes, all created with Mars's wisdom, all answering only to the tech priests. That is, to you, Magos. It was little work to hide your research into the Tyranids here, deep beneath the ashen wastes. Disastrous though it was. But you have followed the Omnissiah's plans. And now is the time to finally execute on them.
That's why I put a team of Tyranids for the first game with these guys. Look at this, new units. Cybernetic Data Smith. Skitari Vanguards. We got Radium Carbines. Oh man, all this reading, man, I'm not even sure if I can do it, not right now. Cybernetic Data Smith. Mechanicals of the Omnissiah infantry unit that repairs Adeptus Mechanicus units. It programs Castellan robots, clear styles, and founds new cities. Data Smiths optimize the programming of the robotic chargers. These tech priests employ rituals and binaric hymns to bless the doctrine of Aethers, through which they alter the robots' protocols, all the while laying waste to the enemies of the Omnissiah blasts of ionizing radiation from their gamma pistols. So Cybernetica Data Smith, looking pretty cool. Has a power fist, 6 health, 10 armor, refractor field, and feel no pain. There's a massive damage reduction, but there's only 6 health.
Oh my god. Have you seen that shit? Holy shit. What
Thank
the
Wally.
hell?
I forgot, guys, this is a new faction in the game, which means new soundtrack. I think it's playing right now. Gamma pistol, 3 damage, 1 attack, 8 armor penetration. So looks like, almost look like plasma, but no downside. There's only one range though, plasma is 2, I think. The gamma pistol is entrusted only to the truly blessed. The beam of ionized radiation that leaps from its muzzle can reduce a man to a blackened shadow in a second. But this is a waste of its true strength. Those able to tame its savage machine spirit can cut holes in or kill a stroke point if necessary. Data spike. Haywire increases damage and ignores armor against vehicles and fortifications. Data spikes favored by the agents of the Adeptus Mechanicus can stab into the cortex of many enemy machines, seal their secrets within a couple of heartbeats. 1.5 damage, 1.3 attacks. It's like often. These are really weird numbers. 1.3, 1.5. Why is it 1.3? Why is it 1.5? This one is like pretty straightforward. 3, 3, and 1. This guy is a power fist, which is interesting. There you go, bro. So, Cybernetica Data Smith is the one that found the city for this faction. For Astra Militarum is the Tech Priest Engineer. This one also clears the tile. Master Machines. Stores the hit points of target allied Adeptus Mechanicus vehicle or fortification unit. At 6 hit points as well. A program Castellan robot. 5 turns cooldown. Take control of the target enemy Castellan robot. Because this gives you an edge over the environment. Castellan robots are pretty impressive early on. Since the Alpha War Master Horse Rebellion and the Legio Cyberneticus, robots have been controlled completely by their masters, not by the bioplastic cerebra and nerve-like tendril webs of mechanicum constructs, but by sanctified doctrina wafers, no bigger than the cards of the Emperor's Tarot. These slivers of wetware are entrusted to the Cybernetica data smiths that accompany the robot manipules to war. Inserted in the data slot hidden behind each robot's the chest plate, the wafers command protocol will dictate every iota of the host behavior, usually optimizing its ability to destroy its foes in a spectacular fashion. Start with one of these and 2 Skitari Vanguards. Well, we are familiar with these units because we played Mechanicus, right? 2 armor and 10 health. That is super fragile. 2 health each and 2 armor. 2 armor seems very low. They do have invulnerability damage reduction, which is like two more armor. What does this even say here? Canticles of the Omnissiah. Times of war, disciples of the Omnissiah can complex war blessings. This has much optimization subroutines as their expression of faith in their all-knowing, all-comprehending deity. Goddamn coughing. The vanguard of the Skitari cohorts are feared throughout the Imperium, for they use the baleful energies of the Forge Worlds as their weapon. Equipped with pack generators that bleed potent energy byproducts, these Omnissiah martyrs are so saturated in radiation that even to approach them is to succumb to their peculiar curse. Their baroque carbines fill the air around the foe with harmful emanations, corrupting the atmosphere itself, even as they punch hyper-irradiated shot into the flesh of their victims. This is very strange. 10 health, 2 armor, and 1 ranged weapons. Trina imperatives. Radium carbine. Red poisoning. Increase the damage against infantry and monstrous creature units. 1 range. They do have 8 accuracy. 10 health and 2 armor though. That's like trash cannon fodder. Literally just gonna die. This gotta be one of the most fragile units in the game. One sec. Radium carbine. 1 damage, 3 attacks, 1 AP and any accuracy. Radium weapons are so volatile that they eventually kill their wielders. Their baroque beauty bell is a singularly vile function, not only to strike but to render the battlefield as deadly as the raid wastes of Mars. Each weapon's bullet cylinder is so thoroughly bathed in radium that a volley can cause a localized rot storm. Those inside soon find their flesh blackening and sloughing away. Bionics. Increase the normal damage reduction, 70%. It's a rare Adeptus Mechanicus Magus who goes completely unaugmented. Since the days of Arcan Land, some Vainer conceal their augmentation, but most bionic augmentation is deliberately rooted in human, acting as physical symbols of Omnissiah. The Omnissiah's blessing. Imperative. The Skitari are fearsome foes, relentless in the pursuit of the Omnissiah's agenda, equipped with the most advanced weaponry in the Imperium. Ultimately though, each is but a cybernetic vessel for the will of the tech priests. In the heat of battle, the Skitari will be remotely controlled by data imperatives that boost their minds and bodies to inhuman levels. Pretty basic here, really. Red saturation. Passive action with 1 radius. Damages adjacent enemy infantry and monstrous creatures each turn. They're radioactive. They ignore scour. Harnessing the destructive energies of Forge Worlds within their weaponry, certain Skitaria are so soaked in radiation that even to approach them is to confer a death sentence upon yourself. Victory for them is Pyrrhic, as this radiation burns through even their heavy armor plate. slowly poisoning them to death even as their carbines bring about the much quicker demise of their enemies. Targets the enemy infantry and monstrous creature units each turn. Okay, what is this? Glory of the Machine God. Power Surge. Increase the output of non-headquarters buildings on the target tile. They use influence to get plus 10% for 10 turns. We'll open the transonic oscillator and escalate the reactor another 3 points. I require those forges running on optimal efficiency. Marks the skin shortly before the loss of Arclis. 5 Primus. 10% buff for 10 turns at a cost of 14 influence. This one costs 3 food. So we got an influence building here, Skull Altar. We are inside volcanic terrain. Shame this thing is here. It's probably one of the only on the map as well. Does it look like this faction has more slots on the tiles? It looks like one more than the other factions. Look at this. This is a forest, and it still has 3 slots. This faction has plus extra building slot on a tile. Just one more. How will you go with their unique thing with the buildings? Who knows? Let's see what it says for their buildings. Forge Temple. So this is their headquarters. Forge Temple. Adeptus Mechanicus City. Forge Temple is the center of Adeptus Mechanicus' presence on the world. It's a citadel of information, a repository of the remnants of humanity's long-cherished knowledge. Or the headquarters of a fanatical cult dedicated to hoarding information that could save humanity. We even think the latter would, of course, be heresy. There's the Artisan Constructorum. And this is cool stuff, you know. You can just go to wiki and read a lot about the factions, but it's different when they put it in the game with a faction you're playing. It's all in front of you. Simple title of Artisan conceals the immensity of what these tech priests achieve. Not personally, of course, but through vast labor forces of mind-wiped servitors. Here in the Constructorum, this army of once men build the buildings and tools to enable the tech priests' efforts elsewhere. So this one does 2 food, 2 ore, 2 influence. Population is food. Nothing new regarding resources, just pretty much the same as Astromultarum. Their food building is called a Ferratonic Furnace. Ferratonic Furnaces. Adeptus Mechanicus are not famed for their love of the pleasures of the flesh, and it is a rare tech priest who would admit to being a gourmet of anything but code. That is reflected in this repurposed photonic furnaces, or rather their dietary output. Its rations are calibrated to be the most efficient medium for transferring the absolute minimum energy and resources for an average person to survive and function. Well, that sounds miserable. So where do they get 6 food? Analytic buildings. Increase the resource output of a non-headquarters buildings of the same type on a tile. Increases the output of non-headquarters buildings of different types on a tile. I guess the Forge Temple does not count. And I guess on this slot here you want to get another Artisan Constructorum to work with the monolithic buildings. But this is usually on a much later technology. It's here, tier 4. Their ore building is called Hemotrope reactor. Hemotrope reactor. This complex installation is understood fully by a few tech priests, but can be repurposed to many functions. In the absence of Adeptus administrator manpower to physically extract the ore, Adeptus Mechanicus falls back on approved ancient techniques, redirecting the reactor's plasma output on ore veins to extract and refine the metals they contain. Thermo Exchanger Shrine. After millennia of inhabitation, Gladius Prime is a trove of ancient technologies, much active and embedded deep in its crust. Alongside that, the planet's core is still active with roiling magma. Thermal exchanger shrines use arcane technology and ritual to top the planet's restless heaving and gather that energy for use elsewhere. Librarium Omnis. Named in honor of the continent-spanning data repository buried beneath the surface of Mars. Each local librarium contains a tiny fraction of the surviving knowledge of mankind, much of which was disordered or corrupted during the schism of Mars. Many tech priests dedicate their lives and lose them exploring these secrets in the hope of discovering ancient knowledge or even a Messiah willing an STC. What is an STC? Autocorral transmitter. Of course, it's a transmitter. Standard tech construct. When else, it is machine noise, whirring and beeping and grinding. But the resemblance of an augmented Adeptus Mechanicus subject is a combination of choral evensong, elegant symphony, fervent prayer to the glory of the Omnissiah and the rightness of his servants, the Adeptus Mechanicus. Struck with an infoload of revelation, truly blessed tech priests will override the sacred canticles to deliver the machine god's adaptive wisdom. Standard template construct. Hey Bob. They construct the genitor carpadium. Then produce new as well generates food or an influence. Say that the Assimilatarum training academies produce soldiers would offend any tech priest logic centers. Even the lowliest accolade knows that humans are just one raw material in the production of effective soldiers, with circuits, bioplastic and metal comprising a larger proportion of most criteria. After all, flesh is fallible. Flesh is fallible. Okay. Night Crusader is tier 9. Don't have a tier 10 unit. At least they have an additional weapon for the Night Crusader. What do we have on tier 1 technology? Bulwark Imperative. Increase the armor, but increase the movement of a Doctrine Imperative units. Plus scales with the amount of affected units up to 10. Doctrine Imperative units. Let's do the Doctrine Imperative units. Increases the armor, but decreases the movement. What's gonna be +1, -1? Enhanced data tether. Increase the morale of Skitari Vanguards. They do have only 6 morale. Manufactorum Cybernetica. Building that produces ground vehicles as well as generates food and ore and influence. Cerberus Sulfur Hounds. Here Imperative's infantry unit with flame weapons and an aura that cripples enemy infantry and monstrous creatures. Skitari Marshal, Doctrine Imperative hero unit that leads the Adeptus Mechanicus into battle. They don't seem to have a building, special building for heroes. Thermo exchange efficiency, increase the bonus output of power surge. What's strange stuff? Strange new stuff. And they do have additional building slogan tiles. Increase the resource output of non-headquarters buildings on the same type on a tile. This is -20% food plus 20% ore. So give us immediate additional 20% influence. Decreases the output of non-headquarters buildings of differing types on a tile. So if I build anything else here than an Artisan Constructorum, this thing will lose outputs. How much? Who knows? Who knows? This is Arctica. Gonna need some research. Claim this style for the Arctic. We can't go wrong with this one. This is a building that produces ground vehicles. This is the first game with the Adeptus Mechanicus. You put the 2 enemies against us in a team on the hard, so it's not that much pressure. There's a quest. Quest caused me brain damage, but we do them first time. You have fond memories of your days as a menial in the cannons of Mars and as a tech acolyte on Fecundia. The Scyther Camber Neon 7 was with you then. First as a fellow menial, then a bodyguard, now as your Skitari Marshal. They shared your mission this last century, so when he confirmed that the execution protocols were finally approved and released, you eagerly began initiating the early stages. The mission meant you had to be absent from your post. As Magus Benedict is quick to remind you, absent when the Orc invasion began, absent when the Tyranids breached containment, absent when the Adeptus Mechanicus forces, including the prized Castellans, were scattered across the planet, absent as the Gladius Prime, once a proud high world, was reduced to a wasteland with a barely billion souls scrabbing in the ruins, and with every Xenos and heretic battling for its remaining wealth. You cannot explain to Benedict. You must treat your mission as if it came from the High Lords of Terra or the Fabricator General. Indeed, the Astra Militarum or Adeptus Astartes would not even support your studies of the Tyranids, and hence must be treated as hostile, let alone your ultimate plan. Before planning, one must survive, and to survive, Camber Neon 7 reminds you, we must build Mars anew here. Strike Gender Carpedium. Produce Guitar Vanguards. 50 influence reward. Combat stimulant here. Sounds like elder weapons. The weapons are quite deadly. Since you have no armor, so the many attacks of this weapon are super deadly to infantry. This one has also the increased damage. Start with a Librarium Omnis. These faction technologies are more expensive. This Overwatch, 4% of the unit dead. What is damage going to work? 2 damage just at the start of the turn. Manufactorum Cybernetica. Building that produces gun vehicles as well as generates food or an influence. A Tech Priest Manufactorum is leagues ahead of its standard Imperial equivalent. Not technologically, of course. The cult Mechanicus consider it more important to safeguard the technology they have, and improving it is a Xenorite heresy that only Cal himself might consider. Said this building has superior rituals, unguents, chants, libations, and so forth. Looks like this is where we get most of our shit. I guess they got level 2 cause 3 kills. That's relative. Does this mean we won't get more tiles than anything here? 1 food, 1 ore, 2 influence. If we plan ahead for the future and build multiple, we get the bonuses that are... Right now we don't know how much it is though. Means more time spending claiming tiles. What this shit is. This thing's going alone is feels like suicidal. Well, influence per turn. Each tile also costs 1 influence. Adeptus. Bulwark Imperative. Increases the armor but decreases the movement of Doctrina Imperative units. Cost skills with the amount of affected units up to 10. Warrior Wisdom of Ancient and Experienced Doctors is force loaded into Scutarius minds. Chilling pools of data locks microactuators into bracing positions, bring reserve power cells online and bestows sensation of sacred vulnerability upon the tech priest soldiers. So they lose 1 movement, but they gain 2 armor. It scales with number of affected units up to 10 on the cost. Warrior Wisdom of Ancient and Experienced Doctors is force loaded into the Scutarius minds. Each thrilling pulse of data locks. Same thing. It doubles their armor. Tier 2. Half Feign, build increased population limit. Yeah, that's pretty much normal for everybody. Litany of the Electromancer. Damages target enemy unit. Attacks and cost scales with the amount of canticles of the Messiah units up to 10. Damages target enemy unit. Omnispecs allows Skitaria Vanguard to ignore range damage reduction. Scorpius Dune Rider. Green Imperatives Transport Vehicle. Sub-Cloister, building that produces tech priests, as well as increases population limit and loyalty. I guess this is like a hero building. This one is on a different building as well. It looks like there might be 3 different priests. Tech Priest Manipulus, Tech Priest Dominus. Maybe the one that built the city as well. This is the flat amount of research gained from outposts. So only works on research though on those outposts though. Factorum Cybernetica. Put it here. Gonna be getting more tiles for other things. We're gonna have to also expand faster. This on the radius. Cloister. Building that produces tech priests as well as increased population limit and loyalty. Sub-cloister serves as a shelter and school for the new tech priests. Here promising acolytes from the planet's hype cities are trained in many secrets of the cult Mechanicus. For time, if they survive and find their calling, emerging as slowly engineers, fanatical lector priests, cybernetic data smiths, or any of a myriad other non-combat specializations. It's the cybernetic data smith, Manipulus, Dominus, and the Fulgurate Electro Priests. Scorpius Dune Rider. Canticles of the Omnissiah hero with powerful support abilities and neutralizing effects. Only the Hopfane. Bunch of weird shit here for sure. Oh man, Chaos Cult is gonna hurt here. So for one turn they lose 1 max movement, but again 2 armor. There's a shop here, so it's nice. These weapons are quite deadly to infantry. Okay, we got the Manufactorum Cybernetica. Iron Strider Ballistarius is the first vehicle unit. Iron Strider Ballistari are peerless marksmen stalking at the fringes of each Guitari maniple. The Ballistari hunt down enemy commanders and spiritual leaders, knowing that to slay such individuals is an efficient way to degrade the enemy operatives' capabilities. Equally capable of disabling the war engines of the enemy, these unmatched riflemen will trample down those who block their passage until they have the perfect vantage point for their shot. Pretty cheap unit from the looks of it. Well, the core building has 2 slots, and we're definitely not gonna build. Even if we ever build more than one of these, is gonna be or just another one. I wonder how much its outputs will change because of the monolithic buildings. Known headquarters buildings. Maybe the Forge Temple and the Artisan Constructorum are not affected by this. Maybe it's just the Forge Temple. Let's see. A faint building increased population limit. It's hard to think of an alien race that might approve of a hive world's living conditions. Perhaps the subterranean herd. Yet to the Adeptus Mechanicus they're ideal. They seek to replicate their efficiency in their own housing units, cramming workers, servitors, and Skitarii into living quarters so tight that the violence would seem assured, were it not for behavioral engineering and surgery. So this is a 6 population limit, there is a technology later for a 7 population limit. Allah is on law, so we have get in conflict with other factions sooner. Might be detrimental. Tier 3. Adjacent integration. Increase the building research output for each building in an adjacent tile. Increase the building research output for each building in an adjacent tile. Upgrade Electro Priest. Canticles on Messiah melee infantry unit that increases its damage reduction by killing units. Stellan Robot. Extremely durable and heavily armed canticles of Messiah combat walker unit. Stellan Robot is a tier 3, huh? Doctrine Imperative. Increases the range accuracy but decreases the melee accuracy of Doctrine Imperative units. So it's another one of these things. Proto Servitor Cradle. Building that increases loyalty. Tech Priest Dominus. Silverland Canticles of the Messiah hero unit with scouting ability and damage buffs. Let's get like a Stellan Robot. Now look at those 2 Umbras in the north. Let's see this, the second unit. So basically a single walker, huh? It's interesting. Twin linked Cognis autocannon. 3 range. Oh, it's also pretty accurate. It's way above average accuracy. 7 armor and 16 health. There's also bionics. So this is actually quite tough for such early unit. 4 movement too. The weapon pretty solid considering 3 range and good accuracy. It's also affected by the Doctrina Imperatives. Dune Strider, +1 movement. Some Skitarii are able to march across the most hostile terrain at relentless pace, augmenting limbs, never tiring nor wearing out. Open-topped Walker vehicle. That's an interesting unit. Love the fact it has 3 range with a multi-attack weapon. This is basically just a solid autocannon weapon. Like a Stellan Robot technology. Extremely durable and heavily armed canticles of the Messiah combat walker unit. The Stellan robots are ancient monstrosities destined to war, each an unliving giant assigned a deadly purpose by its master. Soulless, these metallic golems are given thought only by the Doctrina wafers in their recessed chest slots and the cybernetica data smiths to program their every move. These machines are walking relics from eons past and all the deadlier for it. The air nearby thrums with power, bullets ricocheting from repulsor fields that glow like golden cages around them. Bullets of phosphor blast and promethium incinerate their foes wherever they may hide. Rushing fists bring ruin wherever they strike. Violence meted out by each maniple is as inspiring to the Omnissiah's visual as it is terrifying to its foes. Looks like just a standard Castellan robot, 3 energy upkeep. I love this even has 4 movement. And another cybernetic data smith. Like it's no brain to get a second CD already. It's pretty early to get this thing. So you can see the sub-cloister being affected here in the Artisan Constructorum as well, because they're building on the same built on the same slot. That will be definitely a little bit awkward initially. I guess the positive is just opposite. This is a building research output for each building in adjacent tile. Let's see what that one does. Good hounds out of nowhere. Someone will die if it stays here. Might die anyways, these things are fast. Will die to a single attack of Crude Hounds. I need some energy here. Guessing to building 2 energy buildings and 2 ore buildings, it might just be even then. Two of these might make a difference, because they get then 2 of these weapons. We're fighting just the two Tyranids in a team on hard, nothing special. Just a chill game here to learn this faction. Honestly, I have to tell you this all a bunch of weird shit to begin with. It's like wanna that second city as early as possible as well. Hounds die easily because they have no armor to these things. Jason's integration. Increase the building research output for each building in an adjacent tile. The discovery of knowledge is such a holy right that supporting rights have been mandated throughout the hive. As population density grows, the faithful constantly pour libations and imprecate the city's integrated machine spirits to give up their secrets to the tech priests in the Equilibrium Omnis. Emblem cools. Still feeling like shit. Jason's integration increases the building research output for each building in an adjacent tile. So these buildings produce more research. I guess is one way to counter their costly research. What happens if I put another research building here? Tier 4 is a lot of tech. 7. Building constructs new buildings as well as generates food or an influence. Yeah, that's the one in the middle. Chain of the Morsel's Feast. Increase the melee accuracy of canticles of the Messiah units. Cost and effectiveness skills with the amount of affected units up 10. Dogma Metallic. Increase the armor penetration of assault weapons. All our weapons are now at assault. Lucian specialization. This is the resource output of non-headquarters buildings on the same type on a tile. So even further, huh? More forming. Increase the tile acquisition radius. This could be very good to get immediately because we can plan future building. Sky and infiltrators. Doctrina imperative. Paradise infantry, the unit specialist infiltrating enemy lines. Soylent's acquisition teams. Increase the building food output for each building in an adjacent tile. Increase the building food output for each building in an adjacent tile. So I guess it starts with the research, the next one is food. Considering this is 8 turns and we have our research building, it does feel a little bit slower. So I'm getting a second research building, not just see the bonus, but to get the technology ahead. Gonna be a shit ton of ore here, and not really any good food amount. I think this guy lost all the movement here. What was the weapons on the city center? I haven't even checked. Cockney's heavy stabber. 2 range. Limits accuracy loss. Assault weapon. So kinda 2 heavier weapons. 3 attacks, 1.5 damage. Cockney's weaponry through those superficially similar to that used by the rest of the Imperium has one vital difference. Cockney's weapon's machine spirit has been permanently awakened by the rights of the machine god. When the wielder is unable to give his full concentration, the warlike spirit of the gun will take over. So it doesn't really benefit it at all. Limits accuracy loss. Cognus limits accuracy loss. So if we get penalty to accuracy, it's gonna be limited, either due to morale or debuffs. Gatling rocket launcher, 3 range. Oh, there's a really solid weapon here. Oh, this one has 3 damage and 5 attacks. It's like 2 weapons. Oh, this one is pretty good. Ignore Scour. Ignores the range damage reduction to target unit. Skyfire increases the accuracy against flyers. The Icarus rays used by the Adeptus Mechanicus fill the sky with inescapable death, comprising a twin Icarus autocannon with sky scryer lenses, Gatling rocket launcher that fires whole salvos of flak, and an armor-piercing missile launcher. Its combined firepower can shred an entire squadron of enemy fighters. So 2 solid weapons here. They don't have like standard weapons and then one, you know, like a blast weapon or an anti-armor weapon. How much is the city even cost? 40k. We're going to be needing food, and I guess this is the only option here, really. Things are little infantry, but they are very squishy. Getting a second city now so we can get more resources. It's bare bones right now. One, two, three, 4. And we get a Forge Temple immediately with a bunch of resources. This will help with loyalty. So let's see this. Adjacent buildings 1.3. 2.6 from features. 18 from buildings. That's actually a lot of research here, a lot. I think I ever had this much research just from the buildings without any outposts this early. We can get Castello now. I'm gonna go look for trouble. We're just gonna be building up and see what this faction has to offer. This one can find the enemies and this guy's moving to shoot. Water forming. Increase the tile acquisition radius. So from 1 to 2. Terraforming is the ironically named process of making a planet more livable for humans, exactly unlike the devastated bulk of Earth, hidden beneath the continent's sprawling imperial palace. Terraforming has no such pretensions, turning a planet into an exploited, poison-dotted, with incredibly productive cities just like home. Just like home. There's 40 ore here now. This actually could be a shit ton of ore, considering they got an extra slot on the tiles like this. It's adjacent to an ore field. This is plus 60%. These guys, they definitely have potentials with such things. That's this faction specialty. There's an ore field here. Armor penetration assault weapons. These units are 1.5 food, 1.5 ore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Tarek.
Have you seen
Thank you
that
for your
shit?
support.
Holy shit. What?
Well, Sype, when I'm getting a new Mechanicus lore, when it comes to me. And that just not make, you know, new Mechanicus lore. These guys should not be under that such massive pressure. We do have wildlife on low for this map. It's also kind of cheap. I need to get several of them for some extra damage. The still robot probably gonna start clearing shit up. It's better Terex, but still feel like shit. Don't want us again to send these guys first. I just get hit and then I just need to heal for several turns. This one doesn't have the production, right? Metallic increases the armor penetration of assault weapons, so that's +1. Zealots of Metallic are famed for bringing with them an earth-shattering clamor, redolent of their forge bolts' endless industry, and for not pausing in their relentless advance, obliterating their foes mid-march. That's 1 more AP. We got our first Castellan robot. Aston Militarum used to be able to get Castellan robots in the early version of Gladius. These things have 24 hit points, 8 armor. Twin-linked heavy phosphor blaster. That's a weapon. That's a weapon. 3 damage, 3 attacks, 4 armor penetration, 8 accuracy. It's like a super heavy bolter. Phosphor weapons range from the handheld Serpenter favored by many tech priests to the heavy phosphor blaster mounted upon Carafron battle servitors. The burning white spheres that shoot out from phosphor weapons cling tenaciously to their targets, sizzling wildly as they melt into flesh or burrow through armor and exoskeleton alike. More often than not, it is these luminogenic orbs that deal the death blow. Even if a target proves tough enough to survive the burning pain, the phosphorescent glow these spheres exude can guide an ally's volley to strike the same target. As a luminogen trait, temporarily decreases the damage reduction of target unit. Second weapon on this thing is the one on the shoulder. Sending Combustor. Just a nice flamethrower. Typically mounted atop the Castellan battle robot, the Incending Combustor hurls out great gouts of burning thrice blessed per medium, laced with Magus blessed unguents and ignited by a flame lit from the perpetual forge. Each holy fire thrower can turn a techno heretic into foul tallow in a matter of seconds. These things are quite nasty with this armament. It's not even expensive, it's 3 energy only. It's a Canticles Omnisci unit. Fearless, Feel No Pain, 33% damage reduction. Repulsor Grid, 70% damage, range damage reduction, 70% damage returned. This range damage reduction returns range damage from weapons that are not blast, tempered, or which fire back to the attacker. It's a walker vehicle. Still durable and heavily armed Canticles of the Omnisci combat walker unit. This could be the best early unit of this faction that you can get, but requires 3 energy. And then just get several of them. These things also will scale nice with level. It's quite tough for such an early unit. New faction, you'll see I guess those are killed to side Draconus, they're data smiths. Let's get more ore here. Tier 5. Conqueror Imperative. Increase the melee accuracy but decrease the range accuracy of the Imperative units. Grayan Protocols. Increase the armor of infantry. Wanna get Doomcrawler. Imperative's walker unit focused on exterminating flying units. Sting Enlightenment reduce the research cost. Triplex Necessity increase the building ore output for each building adjacent tile. But this is the ore version. This is the building ore output. Reduces the research cost. That's like pretty straightforward. Like it doesn't say how much or. But you know, you see this, you get it, right? I'm guessing it's gonna be like what, 5 or 10%. Xenologists could definitely use more information. Stellan is enough to lead an attack on its own. So Castellan Robert, the enemy one. I expect an attack here. This one is the Cunniclum Messiah. Boy. What's the damage? It's 4.6. Is anybody in this direction? Just have to find the direction the tyranny is gonna be, because this is where fighting gonna start. There's not much wildlife on this map, it's only on low. Doesn't look like they're in this direction though. War is looking very good. As a cybernetic data smith. Doesn't look like Castellan is close unless it's here. This thing's stuff. It doesn't have much yellow white stuff. That's a shit ton of ore here. What do we do with shit ton of ore? We get units that cost shit ton of ore. Should have actually started building this much earlier. 3 food upkeep for this one. We'll get another one of this and then we'll get population growth in this capacity increase in the center, and I guess I'll get some food here. It's easier to plan a second city because you're not gonna need much production buildings. Usually get production in one city. I guess we'll wait with the second production building in the first city to put it in the second city to specialize more. It's not really critical. Those 4 slot buildings, which you got just go all energy, all food, and all ore, make more sense. This type of bonus they have. I finished original scene 2 now. Just wanted to change. Seeing alignment reduces the research costs. Some tech priests are more open to studying Xenos technology than others. One of the 40 rules of Stages 8 consistently escapes punishment for these Xenorite tendencies, partially because of their role's importance, partially because it cripples any attackers. Following their path is certainly a fast way to speed up access to forbidden technologies. So it says the technologies are cheaper, but it doesn't say how much cheaper. This is the building ore output for each adjacent. Each increases the building ore output for each building in adjacent tile. Guess I'll go with this one. This is where we're gonna put it. Of the adjacency work, I guess having tiles like this is absolute shit for this faction. Well, this is a mystery terrain here with Stellan robots and shit. There's a big no-no here. Things need a way higher damage to consider even destroying. See how much we can see here. See, this one is quite underwhelming against the Stellan. The data smith can also repair it. There's a special thing with the Adeptus Mechanicus, they have +1 slot tiles for buildings. Triplex necessity. This is the building ore output for each building and adjacent tile. Holy shit, look at that ore production. Following new designs discovered on Triplex Fall during the construction of new structures, care is taken to explore any subterranean areas and map out any potential ore veins. If a Hemerotroph reactor, its plasma can be directed down these prepared routes to more efficiently extract the ore. In fact, you can build 3 on a brush with rocks. I mean, on a volcanic area with rocks, adjacent to an ore field. +2 for adjacent buildings, huh? This is gonna get even higher, and this thing can get surrounded by this is like the prime tile for this. This is a shit ton of ore right now. So much ore we should get another Manufactorum Cybernetica. We also can check that other building as well. Seems possible to get this early on with the first time with the faction. It's different build order. Play again. I keep forgetting about this one here. Tier 6, Benediction Omniscience. Increase the range accuracy of canonical Omniscience units, cost and effectiveness scales over the amount of affected units up to 10. We only have one Crystalline Robot for this. Cockney's Heavy Stabber, that's for the Onager Doomcrawler. This one here. Cockney's Heavy Stabber. So this weapon here. Ask. Predorum was prime. Increase the building influence output for each building in adjacent tile. This is for the influence buildings. Hammer of Wrath on tier 6. Draxi sterilizers. Compare the infantry unit that can jump over enemies and burn them out of a cover. Rise and Savagery. Increase the armor penetration of melee weapons. Haven't gotten this building yet. Okay, we haven't used Power Surge yet. Is this thing fully built up now? It looks like it is. We do have 39.3 ore, 3 Hemerotroph reactors. Cost 14 influence. Didn't show anything really. That's 10% ore. Am I crazy or didn't nothing change there? Scorpius Dune Rider. Let's see what this is. It updated now. I don't know, this is 10 turn cooler and it costs influence. It's a little bit weird. Around 10%. You don't have enough firepower for this. Scorpius Dune Rider. 3 imperatives transport vehicle. Scorpius Dune Riders enable Forge Lords to ferry squads of their cyber infantry on the front lines, overwhelming the foe through swiftly deployed waves of numbers. Dune Riders sweep onto enemy defense in a cloud of chemical smoke, saturating the area with heavy caliber shot as their payload of warriors disembarks. Hey, Dr. Vector, thank you. This is just probably what we need for super squishy infantry like this. These things get deleted immediately, probably gonna get even deleted even worse as the time goes on. But if they have a transport getting them into fight, especially because these units have one attack, one range, makes much more sense. Gonna get another city here. It's just gonna be just shit ton of ore. Get a loyalty building technology. Proto Servitor Cradle. Yeah, they have very strong damage against infantry, but they just take damage and they're all disabled. They're easily killed. Okay, we managed to build things here faster than was growing. Oh, we know shit is here, but we don't have the units to go for it right now. The Wonky Stellan, one Data Smith, and the Impeller Ruin. What's it called? The Bastion. I think this unit is supposed to be just a glass cannon. We explored enough to the south. Umbras costa roboto do Castellan. Or a servitor cradle, building that increases loyalty. Of course, there is a descending Imperium, even in the Adeptus Mechanicus. Hidebound as it is, there is disagreement or the best path to follow. This is all productive, useful discord. For were there not heretics, there would not be the requisite human raw materials to produce servitors and server skulls. To set up as examples to craven humanity as to what happens to those who stray from the Omnissiah's path. $7 for this. Get a loyalty building in the center for now. Take Priest Manipulus, Chronicles of the Messiah, hero unit with powerful support abilities and neutralizing effects. Holy shit, this damage on the Umbra, have you seen that shit? This Gatling rocket launcher is nasty against flyers. It's like, don't approach this city with an air unit. Oh, just delete it. Has extra accuracy against flyers. Skyfire. Those guys might be dead. Very squishy. You see how easy they die? We're literally just engaged here and they're dead. The amount of damage they just take from neophyte hybrids from just regular auto guns is ridiculous. 2 armor is way too low for this unit. Especially because you have to move a lot around of, you know, unexplored terrain, fog of war. Units will appear out of nowhere, they will just delete these units. That's why they need like a transport or some shit so they can actually do something and not just die. So this is a tech priest Manipulus. Mechanical sodium messiah, here unit with powerful support abilities and neutralizing effects. Among the augmentations of a tech priest Manipulus is a galvanic cell which they channel powerful charges of the motive force. They drain power sources dry and use the energy to overcharge the cells of their warriors' armaments, all while defending their divine work with blasts from their own arcane weapons. This one has 9 hit points and 10 armor. He also has Feel No Pain and Refractor Field, and Heater Damage Reduction. This one will have ridiculous damage reduction. We didn't have food for infantry anyways. This area favors ore units. There are different type of these units as well. This one seems to be anti-infantry, but they also die really easily. Just too early for this. Should probably just create tiles adjacent to this one. And this one here first, so these 3 like this together. Before going further in the circles because of adjacency bonuses for this faction. It's called adjacency integration. It's unlocked by technologies. Then there is monolithic buildings. Same type buildings get buffed on the same tile. As a penalty, the lower output if it's differing types on the tile. So we keep in mind these buildings to maximize the bonus. So what this is, Litany of the Electromancer. Sounds like an ability which will cause damage. For a Glory of the Machine God type of thing. Currently have a shit ton of influence. I got in a here yet. It looks like these Iron Strider Basilstarius are the ones to be spammed. Especially have access to a lot of ore. This is the Scorpius Dune Rider. 18 hit points, 8 armor, so pretty tough. Ten morale. 3 imperatives. Open topped transport vehicle. Transport for infantry. I guess those guys that got killed, the Skitaria Vanguards, could be okay with this. But requires separate building and more resources. Cognis Heavy Stabber. Twin-link Cognis Heavy Stabber. Not bad for transport weapons. I guess if you get more infantry, these things make more sense. Got 2 manufactorums here. Litany of the Electromans. Damages target enemy unit. Attacks and cause kills with the amount of canticles of the Omnissiah units. Summoning the spark with the machine god's divinity that burns within them, the Omnissiah faithful manifests blazing auras of energy that lay low to the unbeliever. So, if I have more of these units, they will do more attacks, but it will also cost more. Ignore Scour. 1 out of 10. 5 out of 10. So it's 4 per unit up to 40 max cost. Tranquilum 9.1. It's a 10%. I don't think it's worth at only 10%. More shooters here. We said this is gonna be for energy here. Need to get this building to see what these things do. Here is the bonus output power surge. This might actually be better. It's 50%, I guess it's gonna be fine for 40 influence. This bonus output power surge, paradoxically slowing down the inputs of the thermal exchanger and feeding the plasma through a second set of heat couplings, and condensers can stretch the length time it can operate beyond nominal goals, or at least reduce the amount of lives lost and repairs needed. Let's actually give it another 3.3%. I don't currently need ore though, need energy. If all this gets surrounding bonuses, adjacent bonuses, it's gonna be solid. Doesn't seem to be updating on this turn. It's gonna be updated on next turn at 9.1, 53. Almost like weaker bolters. Walkers galore. This is the real infantry here. Actually has some toughness and it just dies in 2 attacks or takes massive damage and heals for 5 turns. I take Priest Dominus. Self-reliant Canticles of the Omnisci hero unit with a scouting ability and damage buffs. Scouting ability, huh? Escorn. Take Priest Manipulus. 3 food and 6 energy, 6 influence. Among the augmentations of Attack Priest Manipulus is a galvanic cell, from which they channel powerful charges of the motive force. They drain power sources dry and use the energy to overcharge the cells of their warriors' armaments, all while defending their divine work with blasts from their own arcane weapons. This is a hero, second hero that's available to this faction. In a way, this one has a slightly better firepower than Iron Strider Ballistarius. These things are spammable, how cheap they are. Faction discovered, we found the Tyranids. Our erstwhile fecundian experimental subjects, free to wreak havoc again. They're adapting exceptionally to the local climate and opportunities. See the way the Mauloc consuming a land crawler, perhaps derived from a desert planet variant. Janitor Cohen, take notes. Apparently, the Mechanicus was doing experiments with Tyranids on Gladius Prime, and it went badly. That's why the Tyranids are around. This looks like just a scout. Guns can't really do much to vehicles. I have a shit ton of ore. So much that we could get another Manufactorum Cybernetica. Looks like more Tyranids are coming. They look like they cleared the whole area on the right side. This thing has a good firepower for a transport. Raveners. Seems gonna not very good against armor. So he's a 1 OK 3 armor penetration attack. And some Raveners, Hormagaunts, Termagants, just cannon fodder here. This one needs repairs. I'll make sure to get enough power here. And there come this friend, their friend, fighting against two of them. Two Raveners.
Oh my god. Have you seen that shit?
Thanks, Corn.
Holy shit. What the hell?
Tech Priest Dominus, Silverland, Mechanicus of Messiah, hero unit with scouting ability and damage buffs. Slithering, floating, stalking with even guide. The Tech Priest Dominus scour their surroundings with care and eagerness. They're vigilant for lost treasures they can pluck from the corpses of the worlds they conquer. Their minds boil hot with data, and their spines are bent under the immense weight of knowledge they have torn from an unwilling universe. Despite their crooked appearance, these warrior magi are amongst the deadliest and most determined of all the Omnissiah's hunters. Looks like there's gonna be a casualty here. Okay, we can disengage with this one. Doing no damage on these things. Yeah, probably would need another Castellan here. This Sanishar Ballistarius is, they need a lot of them to actually do some damage. Increases the resource output of non-headquarters buildings of the same type on a tile. It buffs the monolithic structures. Raveners will destroy these things. Can have Raveners attack us with full strength. Don't cause any casualties here, just taking damage is gonna be bad. Sting is also very durable here. It's war, Cervantes, it's war. Them and hopefully they just go away. Another Castellan over here, we have some more energy. Get this new unit next turn. What's it about? Consider a third city, but this also feels like nice now without needing to build another set of loyalty buildings. For the long term, it's probably best. Lucian specialization. Increase the resource output of non-headquarters buildings of the same type on a tile. Set a whole fortune world of Lucius a trapped sun. But of the Adeptus Mechanicus is less interesting than the planet's specializations. Unique metal Lucian. Warp travel. Magi of Lucius encourage specialization in depth. Now we got Tech Priest Manipulus, that's a hero. The Magnerail Lance, range 2, okay, damage. Plus Mechadendrites, melee weapon 1 range, and Omniscient Staff, another melee weapon. So damage wise is not bad, especially if you use all 3 weapons at once. 10 hit points, I guess it's a +2 levels, otherwise has 9 hit points. It's a massive damage reduction. Feel no pain, hero, refractor field. A penalty for heavier ordnance weapons. Because the magna rail lens is heavy. Master of Machines. Stores the hit points of the target allied Adeptus Mechanicus, a vehicle or fortification unit. They also, this one also has heal, even as a hero. This is the repair. Level up. I guess you start with this one immediately, and you can upgrade it. Okay. Increases the armor penetration of target allied Adeptus Mechanicus unit. Galvanic field. Using motive force contained within a large galvanic cell, the Mechanicus electropositors can infuse the weaponry of nearby allies with the underlying current of all life, carrying the Omnissiah sacred benedictions forward to cast all heretics down. Really buffing and armor penetration, huh? It's only a buff for one unit though. It looks like it might go up to 6 if it has 3 ranks, or it might just lower the cooldown. But armor penetration buff on a powerful unit could be quite nice. Electroshocked. Stuns target enemy infantry or monstrous creature. The ability that stuns. The True Devout can send a sudden charge of the motive force pulsing through their numerous augmentations, stunning nearby foes. This heal can be upgraded 3 times. You start with a 6 and the first ability puts to 12. Another Blessed Auto Sermon. Stuck with a info load of revelation, truly blessed tech priest will override the sacred canticles and deliver the machine god's adaptive wisdom. So it's canticles of the Messiah units in the area grant research when killing enemies. Reaction 5 turn cooldown. Radius 3. So you can get a bunch of research when used right. Yeah, both Electroshocked and the other Blessed Outer Sermon are free action. But this is a separate skill. This doesn't have to do with ending with this one. Starts with 12, goes to up to 18. That's actually quite a bit of healing for a ability like this. Makes you wonder why did they have this one here then. It's a little bit strange. This might be a bug. I saw that the other priest, the Darasmith, have this ability. Why does this one have this if it has access to this one? In heal arm. I'm not sure Tech Priest Manipula is supposed to have this one. I think this one is supposed to be a unique one for Cybernetic Darasmith. Who knows? Let's go with the shop here. We have a lot of influence. This is clearly a support hero, so we'll build it in such a way it doesn't die. If this one was a free action with like 5 turn cooldown, it would make sense, but like this makes no sense. It's Castellan can totally totally tank this area. Is this Tech Priest Dominus is the second Tech Priest. We'll get him immediately as well. We have a lot of influence. Wanna get a Doomcrawler. This could be very useful. The Tyranids do have a nasty flyer unit. The Hive Crone. And the Tyrant Prime. Whatever it's called, that Hive Tyrant. Well, what's the flying hero called again? I think it's Hive Tyrant. Hive Tyrant. We have a serious ore area here, so it makes sense to just go for vehicles for now. Gonna make this one a little bit tougher, so it lives longer. Get a hub vein here. Which makes sense here. Can do a small engagement here, but we're dealing with two of them, so we have to be careful. The repairs here, we can outmatch them. Stone robot. This is the mines are not problem for us. We don't have squad units here. We have a lot of ore, really a lot of ore. Scorpius Doomknight is a little bit tougher than the Untitled Starius. Hello. This thing is trying to heal here. Okay, 740 influence, it's a lot. Tunnelizing icon is a no-brain. Pay for itself, and we'll pay for the hero, so we don't use any influence on the hero. Three hit points and extra healing on this guy has a lot of toughness. Movement. Armor wise is 10, huh? He says only 10 base hit points, so plus 3 hit points makes sense. Also to increase healing a bit. Gonna be supporting mainly, and if it doesn't cost any influence, it's just gonna cost 3 food and generate 2 influence. This will make it easier to position, survive, easier to survive, and will just cost no influence to generate the influence. This tunnel is too good if you have a bank of influence. Another half vein. The loyalty building. It's good tiles like this where you need to increase the population. It's also good to increase loyalty at the same time. Well, these are also considered resources. This looks like a tile for food on. Get population here. The Biowars and the Raveners are the strongest they have right now. Strongest thing they have right now. Raveners do have one good attack, one good weapon. This is a little bit tougher than the Iron Cerebral Darius. So now it's 3 attacks. Much better. Gains 1 attack per Mechanicus of the Messiah unit. Also goes 4 in cost in influence. They are currently heavily outnumbered. These weapons are okay against these grouped ones for at least right now. One round they're down. The Stellans will make a difference here. I'm making 21 energy right now, get down like a stone robot. Need a flamer against this crap. It's another Biowars. Honor Gear Dooncrawler. Doctrine Imperator's Walking Unit focus on exterminating flying units. They do have gargoyles around. Honor Gear Dooncrawlers decimate the force of the Skitaria whilst channeling great swathes battlefield information to their masters high above. Patterns of these versatile walkers clung to war in long columns that stalked forwards in uncanny unison, clambering over shattered ruins and wading through toxic run of tower-breaking stride. The enemies of the cool Mechanicus have good reason to fear the Dooncrawler, for these armored monsters are protected by overlapping Mechanicus force fields and bear some of the most esoteric and destructive tank portable weaponry the tech priest can devise. 36 health, damn! It's actually nice. It has 8 armor, and it has a technology that grants it another weapon. It has one of these Gatling rocket launchers. Yeah, it actually looks like more firepower, just what we need. These things are good against smaller units. This is 4 turns. We have 2 Manufactorums. Grants Honor Gear Dooncrawler Cognis Heavy Stabber. So we'll get technology that grants him an additional weapon, because we might get a couple of those. A lot of ore. These weapons are okay against this swarm units. What damage is Biowars? This thing will not last here, but at least we're slowing them down. City is producing quite a bit of resources. Just need to make sure it's keep going up. Looks like the hub vein is probably best to build on the core slot. I'll keep one separate tile for the loyalty buildings. This doesn't produce any resources. There's one building on the center that doesn't count. And then there is only Artist and Constructorum that gets affected by not by much though. We might need to get another building for vehicles. So we can produce them faster. A lot of war. Clear the forest here. Clear the forest and we'll get a third manufactorum. So the adjacency to an outpost is also makes this all the adjacency bonuses a little bit weaker. But you can definitely get quite a nice combinations of tiles. Okay. Tech Priest has arrived. Or minimum casualties with the Deck Priest. See if anybody's moving here. Can have Tyrant Warriors here now. These ones don't have much AP, like Raveners. I'll put fire around by 2 here now. Units are much tougher, they're just slightly outnumbered. This stage we should also consider city number 3. Okiwa, Subnautica, Datasmith. It's too good for the long term. See, this is a transport, it's not even transporting anything, it's still okay against these trash units, considering how much it costs. The fact we have a lot of ore doesn't cost us anything. The Castellan debuffs range damage reduction. So, for example, if they're in a forest or Imperial Ruins, this will eliminate their power bonus. Venom tropes, I'm not even sure what they do. I don't like it. Don't like the look of them. Lush whips. Like okay damage. You don't have any infantry or monsters units. The healer. We'll get a healer here to heal these things. These are all ore units here, except the priest. That's unfortunate. It was very close to getting healed. Can't let this thing live here. It's gonna build a city. Another one here, another one here. They're coming with more city potential here. Five attacks, huh? I'll be using this every 3 turns that's available. Okay, that's another Castellan robot. And we got our Tech Priest Dominus. Has less health than the Tech Priest Manipulus. Power Axe, Data Spike. Phosphor Serpenta, so another Luminogen weapon. On range though. It's a rapid fire. Bulkhead Blaster. That's actually important damage. Holy shit, that was important damage. It's a range weapon though. Favored during the Great Crusade before the Terran Bolgan drove them into decline. Vulcan weapons impart so much thermodynamic energy to the target that those under the shimmering rays simply combust. Such a fortune is burned to cinders in explosions of jetting flame, frequently taking nearby comrades to the grave with them. That's actually a very nasty weapon, this Walker Blaster. Phosphor Serpenta combination. At one range, this one actually has quite a bit of damage. This thing is super fragile, 7 hit points. It's actually 6 hit points base. It gets plus 10% from level 3. Which is this? Adeptus Mechanicus. Part of the Imperium. So the usual refractor field, film of pain, here damage reduction. With this health pool, holy shit, that's so low. Scryer's Skull reveals the target tile and adjacent tiles. Oh, that's nice. So, scouting ability. The Adeptus Mechanicus take the assessment and exploitation of battlefield resources very seriously indeed. So much so that many of them continue their work in this role beyond the point of death. This ability alone is enough to have this guy. But this guy is too fragile. There's a possible ability to increase the accuracy of adjacent Adeptus Mechanicus units. Wow, that's actually very strong. Passive accuracy buff around this guy. So another support hero. May say it's impossible for a man to become like the machine, and I would reply that only the smallest mind strives to comprehend its limits. Fabricator General Kane. Increase the damage of Tech Priest Dominus. So you can do a mega attack with this, considering the set of the weapons, and you can also get some items that buff the weapons, like accuracy, for example. So this damage for one turn. None can smite the blasphemer like those from Mars. Theirs is the most righteous of zeal. All praise the glory of the machine god. Mechanicus Locum on level 6, it gets an ability that just grants you 12 influence and 12 research per turn. Pretty straightforward. Every congregation of tech priests comprises masters of arcane knowledge, zealous leaders of man and machine. So you want to keep these guys out of harm's way, attack at 2 range, not poke with 1 range, and try to get a little bit more health. It looks like all these tech priests want to get this item here, the Sword Hide Jerkins, to get 3 extra hit points. So this damage reduction actually does something, and not... there's no point of this series damage reduction if they don't have extra health. But extra health, this damage reduction actually will do something. That looks like both really solid heroes. This lowers cooldown as you improve it. Having a passive accuracy buff and a scout ability, this is alone makes this guy very useful. The effect level 6 grants you resources per turn, makes it incredibly useful. This hero, Tech Priest Dominus. His weapon and damage capabilities are secondary. You can scout this pretty much every turn nearly. Get a passive accuracy buff, and for Jason Mechanicus units, and it has level 6 that grants you influence and research per turn. So another support hero. We'll get some health and movement, same as the other one, influence item. So they provide more stuff and higher chance to actually get out of the arm's way if it has extra hit points, all this damage reduction. 7 is gonna do shit even with the best damage reduction. Need a little bit more health. Item and levels will provide. Looks like they're on the retreat. I feel like the city's gonna pop up here any turn now. Getting a 3rd city. They don't have any good anti-armor here, but they do have numbers. If the anti-armor gets close like Raveners, we target them. Tyrant War is not anti-armor. Anyways, boys, we're gonna save here, and I'm gonna go to sleep. We'll continue tomorrow. We'll be continuing Gladius for a couple of days, and then we'll decide what days to continue Divinity Regional Sin 2. Probably gonna put it on specific days. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.